Welcome to Share Talk, the only podcast where investors come first.
Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here on Share Talk for Thursday, the 8th of October. Starting off with HMIN Resources, where we've had a nice gap to the upside after a very long consolidation for the shares since, I suppose, the end of May. Very dead price action, then breaking that with the massive gap higher today. Level to look out for, I suppose, is around the initial July resistance, 3.5 pence. Above that on an end-of-day close basis, and we could be heading up towards that March resistance line projection, standing there at 7.5 pence, hopefully by the end of next month. Obviously, if we break back below 3.5 pence, the situation would have to be reviewed. On to Alba, which has been a real hero over the last month or two. A relatively smooth progress to the upside, even though we had that pullback from the upper 0.5s down to, 0.33. The view at this stage, though, is while we're above 0.35 in the floor of the rising trend channel from July, looking for a move higher, but within a zigzag within the trend channel up towards 0.65, hopefully over the next 4 to 6 weeks or sooner. The gap higher today should be a decent indicator of momentum. Stock which is not in such good shape, or hasn't been, and pulled the rug from under the bulls rather painfully, is 4D Pharma. We had the gap down the other day and back down through £1.60 after a sort of multiple tops through the 160 to 170 area, 160 to 180 area in fact. Came back to test support, former resistance in August at 99 pence, and really while we're above that on an end-of-day close basis, this is a potential recovery situation. Plus points that we'd like to see, though, would be an end-of-day close back above the 50-day line. That's 111 3/4, and then ideally up to the 120 level, which was support on the way up. So 99, 111, and 120, the levels in play at the moment, and really an end-of-day close through 111. The piece of the jigsaw that's missing really to underline a sustainable recovery. On to ECR Minerals, which I know has a few fans around the place, and here we can see the situation where there's the let's get rid of this, where there's been a bounce off the floor of the rising trend channel from February. That was at 1.8 pence, and while we're above that, looking for a move to the top of the channel from earlier this year up towards 2.6, maybe 2.7 pence. End of day close today above the 50-day line at 1.95 pence, the key driver one would hope for either today or obviously tomorrow as a weekly close. On to Eurasia, which where there's good news for the bulls in the sense that the shares just hit the 35 pence resistance line there, the July resistance line projection target earlier today, which was satisfying. The view at this stage is that while we're above the initial October peak at 30.7 pence on an end-of-day close basis, we're looking for further gains beyond 35 pence. Best case scenario target at the moment up to that December resistance line projection, currently pointing towards the 55 pence area. But as I said, that's valid really only while we hold above 30.7 resistance. So let's see how that pans out. On to Eris, which is a riser today, and here we've had a nice bounce off that rather obscure resistance line there from June, 3-day bounce in fact, that line there around 5.5 pence. Hopefully we'll get an end-of-day close today above the 50-day moving average at 6.5 pence, and if that happens, we're looking for a top of trend channel target, and a 1-year trend channel target as high as 12 pence, hopefully by the end of next month. Harvest Minerals also back in form as well. This was flagged quite a few times, both on a technical basis here and by other people on the internet. It looks like their dreams have come true in the sense that we're just approaching the top of that broadening triangle from the beginning of July. That's running at 3.8 pence, so hopefully we'll see that, and also perhaps a retest of the main 4 to 4.5 pence resistance, which is basically the 2020 resistance area. Upside valid while we hold above the initial July resistance on the way down at 3.1 pence. So above 3.1, looking for 4 to 4.5, hopefully, on Harvest Minerals. Hurricane Energy is a stock which I always try and avoid because it's probably one of the worst markets, both on a technical and fundamental basis. The things of interest here, the points of interest here, really the way the shares are currently trading around the 20-day moving average at 3.03 pence. We've bounced off that 3 pence area several times, so at least while we're above that, we've got a notional chance of a retest both of the initial October resistance at 3.8 pence and a best case scenario target up to the 50-day line at 4.3 pence. But obviously this is not a nice stock to be involved with, and an end-of-day close back below 3 pence would kill any bullishness from this point. 2020 is the year where every dog has had its day, and speaking not necessarily of NTOG on that basis, you can see that the shares are still trying to get up to that 200-day moving average level at 0.44. We've touched it yesterday and may do again today, but we want to see a weekly close above that particular feature. If we can get that, then the shares might be on the way towards a February resistance line projection at 1.2 pence as a best case scenario. Obviously that would be a 2 to 3 month target, but so far, while we're above 0.35, NTOG Nostraterra looking as though it could finally deliver some reward to the bulls. SARA was covered here earlier in the summer, but it's been a rather jumpy market. We had the spike towards 34 pence in August, but today looks rather more interesting in the sense that we've had an initial October bear trap below September support around 18 pence, and then the gap higher through the 50 and 200-day moving averages. End of day close today above the 200-day line at 23.5 pence could be the start finally of a move to the top of that broadening triangle from November last year, heading to 50 pence. At this stage, only really back below 20 pence again, really delaying the upside scenario, but it does look as though enough support searching has now finally finished for SARA. Just a couple of stocks to go now. SARA is next, and here we've got a situation where shares have just peaked above the 50-day moving average at 0.83 pence. While we're above that, looking for a May resistance line projection target towards 1.1 pence. Obviously, that will retest the July peak as well. Best case scenario target for the fans of the shares up to 1.6 pence, and that's valid while we hold above the March support line, currently at 0.7. So above 0.7, best case scenario target there for SARA, up to 1.6 pence. Another stock which has hit its target, we were looking for 40 pence as a best case scenario for Zoetic, which basically hit yesterday and today. Current situation is that we got a line of resistance there around the 43 pence level. End of day close above that could accelerate the move higher for Zoetic, and we rise within a trend channel from the end of July, currently pointing at 55 pence. So hopefully that could be seen by the end of this month. Only back below, I suppose, the 35 pence area now delays the upside scenario for Zoetic. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.